Afternoon, campers and glampers. Sad day on the farm today. The swallows have gone home to their other home, way to sunnier climes. I want to miss them, their aerial antics in the evenings. No matter, here to review a wee tent that I bought, I suppose on a whim last year. I've never used it. But primarily I was going to use it as a gear store. And that's the Yellowstone Materhorn one person tent, backpacking tent. You hear the name Yellowstone, you think of the national park in Wyoming in the States. You're thinking of wild wilderness areas, herds of buffalo and wildebeest. Maybe not wildebeest. Do you get wildebeest in the States? Don't know. Oh, no, the swallows are still there. Sorry about that, I just see them. Anyway, ignore that, I'm rambling again. Yes, Yellowstone, and put that together with Matterhorn, the rugged, awesomely beautiful mountain in the Swiss Alps, and you think, wow, it's going to be a bulletproof tent, but we'll have a wee look around it. We'll give it the water test, and we'll see how it stands up. For 30 quid, what do you get for wild camping for 30 quid? Yes, the swallows are obviously just been out for the day, and they're hello, come back again. Yeah, it'll not be long before they're away. Anyway, let's get on to the review. So on the face of it, first impressions, it looks a pretty respectable little one-man tent. Plenty of room in it, loads of room in it. In fact, you could nearly get 2 people in that, no problem. But let's have a closer look. So there is one door. The 2000 hydrostatic head fly covers a mostly mesh inner. The material on the fly, rated at 2000 hydrostatic head, it feels reasonably durable. There's vents up here, but there's no little, it'd be handy if it had a little pole or something in there, but that can be opened or closed. Usually keep those open. Now, the bathtub. Let's have a look. The zip open. Zips do feel very... the zips don't feel very good quality. Now, let me look inside. Plenty of room, plenty of mesh. It would actually be a good little bug out tent without the fly on a summer's evening. A little pocket, always a bonus. Now, the pole is fiberglass. It's lightweight, yes, but it's fiberglass, so that'll not take an awful lot of punishment. You need to be careful with that there. Fiberglass has a tendency to crack very easily under even moderate amounts of stress. Stitching isn't great between the bathtub and the inner fabric. It's a wee bit strained. You can see that there. Can you zoom in? Yeah. Material itself, the polyester bathtub, feels sturdy enough. The material on the inner, not too bad. Let's have a wee look around it. There's plenty pegged out. However, the only thing that's keeping the fly on the inner is the pegging out. There's no connections up here. One pole actually, just the one pole. There's no pole at the bottom, but looks as if it's not needed. Low profile. There's another guy line here. Another vent here. On the other side, again it would be handy if there was a little strap here just to keep that open, but yeah. So, first impressions, just looking at the tent, it looks the part. Plenty of room inside it. Plenty of room inside it. The vestibule isn't great. I'll just close it down and show you. excuse me, the vestibule. You could bring a pack inside, there's plenty of room inside, but there's a wasted space over there. If it had another door there, you could have put stuff over there. There's not a great lot of room between the inner and the fly on this side here. So if I undo the fly here, the zip is very fragile. It's not a YKK zip by any stretch of the imagination. It's a zip. That's about it. A wee bit of strain on it, but I mean, you can just loosen. So, in fact, we'll go in and see what that vestibule looks like. So, access, quite a large access door, as in access to getting in. Now, let's see what that looks like. With the zip down. Yeah, zip's caught already. There we go. Not the easiest of zips. No, there's really no vestibule. Yeah, so the zips aren't the best, but they work. They do work. Now, that little Velcro patch there that you close the vent with, from the inside there's little holes around the fabric there, so that's not good. It's pretty loose stitching. It's only, I say tape seam, it's only a single stitch, so quality wise it's not great. So what I'll do, I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to, those zips are a disaster. I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to put the hose on it. So this will simulate a sustained heavy shower. The rain seems to be coming off, or the water seems to be coming off nicely. This wee tent has not seen rain before, so we'll see how it fares. And we'll do a bit of sideways action as well to simulate driving rain, the wind. So I'm going to do this for about 25 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to have a wee look inside then and see if there's any ingress of water anywhere at all. So I'll come back to you in about 25 minutes. So you'll be unlucky enough to get caught out in a sustained heavy shower like this. So what I'm going to do, just to simulate driving wind, I'm going to force the hose along at various angles all round the tent, just to simulate the wind rather than the rain just coming straight down. Okay, so I'll get back to you shortly. Coming up now on about 20 minutes of continual deluge. So I'm just going to go off here and have a cup of tea and come back. Coming up on now the 30-minute mark. Okay, so we have been continually soaking this tent for 45 minutes with heavy deluge simulation. Let's very carefully go in and have a wee look. Just bring this back. Let's try not to get any in. Now, let's get right in. The ground sheet is actually wet. It's actually very wet. That's disappointing. The water's just shake the mesh here and the water's just flooding in. That's a fail, and that's really only simulating a prolonged shower of 45 minutes. Okay, yes, a heavy shower, but 45 minutes nonetheless. The bathtub is soaked. No, that's a fail, unfortunately. That's disappointing. Was it to be expected? Well, they rated the tent. They rate the tent at 2,000 hydrostatic head. What does hydrostatic head mean? It's a measure of the material's resistance to a column of water of 2,000 milliliters. So what they do is they get a piece of the fabric of the fly and they clamp it to the bottom of 2,000 milliliters of water in a flask, and they wait to see if there's water ingress. So up to 2,000 millimeters, if the water ingresses, then they give it a hydrostatic head of 2,000. 5,000 head, then they'll have 5,000 milliliters of water in the flask pushing down on the fabric. So it'll survive 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and then at 5,000 hydrostatic head, or 5,000 milliliters in the column of water, that will then start to ingress through the fabric. But that's rather disappointing. Yeah, it's disappointing. Form factor, quality wise for the tent, the material is not great. Fiberglass poles are any stressing or straining in a heavy winds, they're going to break. They're even going to crack and break if you bend them too much when you're trying to erect it. But certainly, no. Unfortunately, that's a big fail for the Materhorn, the Yellowstone Materhorn 1. Fails miserably. So I cannot and will not recommend this tent. So our survey says, now you know, for 30 quid, put another 20 quid onto that there and get an OEX Fox 1, which is bulletproof quality wise, and 4,000. Oh, stranger danger. There's one of the neighbours coming up for tea. So at that note, I leave yous. Look after yourselves, be good. Talk to you on the next one.